within your region, but outside of that. And it's through competition. And there's nothing given here in terms of, oh, you're wonderful, you're great, and you've done great in the past. Here, come on in and play National League. No, every single year they understand that, like most things in life that are worthwhile, you have to earn them. And I think there's something really meaningful when you have to step on the field and know that you got there not because you were given something, but you earned that thing with everything that you had, and that's what makes it super special.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer at a really young age, probably my second year playing. I had a rough start. My first year, I never touched the ball once. I played 11v11 co-ed, and I sort of just picked daisies and smiled at the camera for my mom and did cartwheels. But then my second year, my mom had asked after the season, do you want to continue playing? Do you want to try other sports? Like, you could do gymnastics. And I was like, well, maybe we should try something else. My mom's like, okay, well, just one more year and see how you like it. And then if not, we'll go just do something else. And the second year, my mom said that, like, off the kickoff, I just took the ball, dribbled it straight to the goal, and shot it in. And ever since then, I've been in love with scoring goals, and it's been, gosh, 22 years later, something like that. My parents have been hugely influential in my career. Neither of them played soccer themselves, but as soon as my sisters and I took to it, they were our coaches, our managers, our cheerleaders, our biggest critics. I remember growing up, my parents would tell me, you can go out with your friends as long as you can juggle 100 times first, or, talent is a gift and, it's a sin to waste it. Go outside and practice and make yourself great. My mom shagged balls. She drove me an hour and a half to practice even after I got my license in high school so I could do my homework in the car. They've traveled around the world now watching me play and getting to enjoy it on the back end. I remember everything about my youth club career. I think that there's nothing like being a young girl playing soccer. I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and, making these lifelong bonds. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just talking about this. I can tell you whose dad that is, whose dad that is. I both stay in touch with both of them. I actually don't know who's carrying me, though. Oh, I look really young for an 18-year-old, just throw that out there. But yeah, I think that this kind of embodies exactly what I said. Just the camaraderie of our parents in the background supporting us, following us all the way, celebrating with your teammates. In terms of advice for young players, I always say it's a little difficult to keep perspective at that age, and it feels like at times your whole life is riding on winning and losing games. But I think that, what I remember now isn't, the wins, and it wasn't the success or the accolades. It was the feeling. It was how much fun I had with my friends and how much fun I had working towards my goals and learning those important lessons. So I think for young players, just keep that in mind, that when you're happy, you're at your best. You're playing at your best. So stress and pressure, let it fall away and let yourself be who you are, and that's the best you can do for yourself and for your team.
USU Soccer is the largest youth sports organization in the country and provides playing opportunities for first-time players as well as future superstars. Everybody starts somewhere, and for the over 3 million players every year, USU Soccer is the place to grow and to develop.
Well, it's a lot of fun to watch them play. It's a lot of fun to watch them build their confidence up and to learn the technical piece of the game, but also a lot about teamwork and what it takes to be a good teammate.
The only thing that I can do for them is really have them understand that through discipline, hard work, framed as soccer, but more importantly applied in school, is the vehicle ultimately for the success of themselves and their families.
I like playing competitive soccer because it gives me something to be really proud of, and that I know that I'm putting my effort into something and that I'm really getting results out of it. I love my team and I love playing, so you know, the whole thing, it can be hard, but it's 100% worth it, and it just gives you something, a purpose in life that you can really put your heart and soul into.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer when I was about 6 years old. My parents signed me up for a youth league, and I love running around and scoring goals and doing all the fun things, sliding and kicking the ball. So that was the beginning of it, and I try and cast my mind back to those days when things get tough.
I've got quite a few memorable youth soccer moments. It was a learning experience. You know, I was one of the better players on my club team, but then, you know, being selected for the New Jersey ODP, I suddenly found myself kind of at the bottom. And, you know, when I made the regional team, suddenly found myself at the bottom again. So I think it was definitely a learning experience, and I had to work hard, and you know, it didn't come naturally for me. I had to kind of work at it. But I would say, you know, playing with my club team, the Medford Strikers in New Jersey, winning 2 state championships with that team, they were like my family, and I still keep in touch with some of those girls, and those were some of my most memorable moments, kind of being with that group for 4 or 5 years.
You can't ever have success without remembering how you got there. I believe that it's the only right thing to do, to always go back to where you started. Always go back to the people who helped you, thank them, and then go back to where you started in the same environment and try to help other people achieve the level of success that you have.
1, 2, 3, Coyotes!
I love soccer because it kind of just embraced who I was. I was competitive, I was aggressive, I just wanted to run for days, and it was fun. I loved being a part of a team and fell in love with it pretty quickly. I chose soccer as my single sport I wanted to do pretty early. My parents were huge, I think, in my career, especially when I was younger. My dad coached me a few years, playing in my first couple years. And then when I kind of went in to go play in club, they were my cheerleaders. They were the ones that would go out with me when I wanted to train on my own a little bit, and driving me to and from practice, wherever it was, and tournaments they came with as well. So we were a big soccer family, that was for sure. Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of. Looking back on it, playing in state regionals and the big tournaments for us back then made me a better player. It inspired me to want to go further and take it to the next level, wherever that was. And for me, it was to go to college. It was to be a part of the youth national teams. The competition just brought that want and the will to work harder to try and be a better player. And kind of being a part of those bigger games, those bigger tournaments at a younger age, kind of just planted a seed to want to continue and go as far as I could, and was able to go with the opportunities that I had.
Serving it, it's headed home. The U.S. has scored, and they'll take the lead.
Wide open is Julie Johnson.
As I've learned with my journey is to enjoy the journey. That it is hard, but it's definitely possible. So dream big and dream as big as you possibly can, and you definitely can be a part of this team. It just takes a lot of hard work, and if you're willing to do that, then you'll be here. If you're willing to understand that it's going to take a lot, but it's so worth it, and if you love it, go for it.
I've talked to a lot of college coaches who feel that the National League is the best recruiting tool for them because they know that everybody has earned their right to be here, and that every game is going to exhibit a lot of quality players.
You know, you see all the college coaches out here for the National League, and this is a great environment for us to see players at that next level, to see if they fit into our programs. But the competition is very good, and it's refreshing to watch some really good games.
It's been a while since I've been around, youth soccer, and this is an excellent tournament. It's run really well. Every team I see tries to play and has a good mentality with good coaching. I've been very, very impressed, and it looks to me like U.S. soccer and certainly U.S. youth soccer is heading in the right direction. So I'm quite pleased and happy to be a part of it.
Today's game is brought to you by Nike, the official supplier of U.S. Youth Soccer. Bubba Burger, the official family fun burger. Kohl's, the official department store of U.S. Youth Soccer. The National Mango Board, an official snack of U.S. Youth Soccer. The MLS, the official grassroots partner. And Nestle Nesquik, the official post-game drink of U.S. Youth Soccer. Today's game is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Toyota, the official automobile of U.S. Youth Soccer. Wilson Trophy Company, the official awards, medals, and pins supplier. The National Soccer Coaches Association of America, an official sponsor of U.S. Youth Soccer. Liberty Mutual Insurance, the official auto, home, life, and workers' compensation insurance. And Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of U.S. Youth Soccer webcasts. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mohawk Sports Complex here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, site of the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National President's Cup. I'm Todd Panula here, bringing you all of today's action as we bring you the Under-14 Boys Championships between Superior SC Aztecas and Bloomfield Cheetah Thunder. We're underway here in Tulsa. We've got a few seconds under our belts already. Not too much has happened so far. The Aztecas from Fort Worth, Texas, are clad in the white with the blue trunks. And thus the dark kits belong to the team from Bloomfield, New Jersey. They're going to be going right to left on your screen. So logic dictates that Superior SC is going to be going left to right. Couple shots on goal, one for each team now, and not too much has happened from either of them. Just a couple goal kicks. It's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. Superior, the Aztecas, finished their group 3-0-0. They scored 7 goals and did not allow one. So therefore, they have already beaten Bloomfield, and they did so on Saturday by the score of 4-0. But we've seen it happen in the past where teams have played each other in the group stages only to face off again later on, and sometimes you summon that extra will. Bloomfield, for their case, didn't finish too shabbily, as they were 2-1-0. But they had 3 goals for and 5 against. Almost a miscue along the back line. Now it's picking up by Rizzuto. The Aztecas trying to bang one up onto the offensive side of things. Chested down by Flores, the leading goal scorer. Trying to switch the point of attack. They bring it through the midfield. Picked up there by Bloomfield, and a foul from behind. The referee thought about going to the pocket. I think he motioned as though he would and then realized that it's fairly early in the contest. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on somebody this early. But nevertheless, a correct admonishing is taken down from behind in the midfield. So the goalkeeper for Aztecas wearing red, but the officials saying it was a little bit too close to the color that Bloomfield has on, so he's got a penny on. That is Christopher Gautreau. Settled down by Elizage. Now a long shot right into the chest of the aforementioned Gautreau. One in the midfield by Rizzuto. Rizzi called for the foul. So numbers forward in the white kits. They go over towards the left, kept in at least briefly. Now taken up by Pita. Settled down nicely by Varela. Not too much possession for either team right now. Trying to come over to the near sideline. It takes a deflection. Rizzuto up the touchline. Played back by Elizage. And now the other way for Aztecas. Trying to go over the top. Intended that one for Santos, but not quite on target. Here's Elizage. He's got a man running towards the middle. He's going to put it on the right foot. Cuts it back. Into the box now. Touched out. Corner. So our first corner of the game is going to go the way of Bloomfield. Anthony Rizzi will put a foot through it. A danger averted, at least for now. They go outside to Rizzi. Wants to put a left foot into it again, gets a little more height onto it. It's spilled. Gautreau was able to smother the rebound. Rizzuto to the far side. Return pass, too strong. Now a countering opportunity. Pita finds Flores. Get it towards the top of the box. Is Varela. And they will gain themselves a throw as that heat-seeking missile was blocked. Quickly in for Varela and back out. Varela couldn't quite keep it in. Now here's Treviso. Santos to the far sideline. Settled down there by Parga. Parga again, taken down from behind. And it'll be a corner. Now the first corner kick of the game for Superior Aztecas. Bouncing around. It's close to a handball. It comes over to the near sideline. Left foot shot. And Jawabra, by mistake, able to make the save. Bloomfield had some good attack in the early moments of this game, but the last few minutes have been mostly Aztecas. So it'll be a free kick. Taken on the ground, and a big save by Jawabra. It looked like not too much was going to come of that, but the seas parted, the ball managed to get its way through. There was a deflection on the way, but Sammy Jawabra was able to get his body in front of that one. Now we have a player down over on the far sideline, but not enough to warrant a visit from the trainer. Trying to go over the top. Bloomfield trying to find something on the attack here. Instead, it's Aztecas going the other way. Put back into the danger area. A little bit too far behind. Left on, and then the shot over the goal by Treviso. 12th minute of play, no score here in the under-14 championship at the President's Cup. Coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is where we were last year, just about this time, but that was for the national championships, which will be in Frisco, Texas, coming up in about a week, and we will bring that to you. Almost touched around. The goalkeeper is hit. The shot is off the post. The foul was given. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Coach Levdorov was not happy with the call. Now it's slotted through. They were looking for Flores. Instead, it's back with Varela, going far side. Into touch, throw in for Aztecas. Previously it was with Bloomfield, but now it goes the other direction. Tripped up in the midfield. They send it back up quickly. Santos on the right foot, tripped up from behind, and that's going to be a card. It's going to go against Rizzuto. So Rizzuto goes into the book. Our first yellow card of the game comes in the 14th minute. And it's going to be a dangerous free kick coming for Superior SC. So the Aztecas have a couple options. It looks like Jarrett Parga is lining it up for a left-footed shot. He puts it right into the wall. Second opportunity for Hernandez. He can't get there first. He's able to win the ball. The official is going to have his work cut out for him today. Just about everybody is yelling at him so far, except for the Aztecas bench. They've been very mild-mannered so far. Nil-nil your score. First half of the U14 championships. Todd Panula along with you, as well as our great crew here with Turbo Sports. Trying to get everything settled on the far sideline, and finally they put it back into play, right back out. We'll do it all over again from a little bit further down the pitch. Into play now. Settled down by Bloomfield, but not for long. Quick counterattack could be on here. Who's got the fastest wheels? Bit of a knock from behind there. Anthony Rizzi getting away with it. The official, once again, hearing it from the far side. The fans a little bit upset, feeling that the arm came extended. It's been a couple good opportunities for both teams. The ball comes loose for Elza. Towards the top of the area, nothing doing there. One was put off the post by Bloomfield, but it wouldn't have counted as the foul was against the goalkeeper. Now here's an opportunity, popped up high in the air. Getting a punch to it is the keeper. Ball still loose, and the flag was up. So Jawabra was able to get a touch onto it, but not enough to really clear the danger. But fortunately for him, it amounted to nothing as the flag was up. Now here's Rizzuto. He hits the deck after he got rid of the ball. Still not with possession, though. That's hopping over the head of Lopez. He's trying to track it down. Nineteenth minute of play here in the under-14 championship. No score. They bang it up the far sideline, trying to spring something on the attack. They had Lopez making the run, but the ball is usually faster than the man. Almost intercepted by Elizage. A right-footed attempt there came from Mauri. But given the conditions, and that was going to take some effort to score from there. On the foot of Villafranca. Trying to go over the top on the counterattack. Looking to get it to Flores. Flores hits the deck, no call. Villafranca. And now Tenecella. And now we're going to have an interesting conference after that one. The officials are they've got their hands full with this one. Coach Levterov was not beckoned on the field. He ran over there, kind of screamed in the official's face. So we'll see if there's anything coming his way. Right now, I think he is concerned, obviously, for his players' safety. There was a collision over here just inside the box, and the player for Bloomfield got the worst of it. And initially, I actually think that there was not a foul called. They may have given one kind of after the fact, and we'll kind of see what happens here with the head official and the AR, because they had a conference and kind of discussed things. They're going to talk to each other again as they're still attending to the player. Tenecella. So my suspicions were pretty much confirmed. based on the players that walked over towards the sideline, that it was the goalkeeper, Sami Jawabra, who is down injured in the box. And sadly, he has not really moved a whole lot. So you have to hope for his safety in these kind of instances. We're going to have to try to get this one kind of sorted out a little bit, because the sideline for Bloomfield seems to be under the impression that a penalty kick was given. So if the goalkeeper comes out of it injured and a penalty was given, that's going to be a little bit harsh of a decision. And obviously the ref perhaps saw something more in it. But we'll have to see, obviously, right now, if it is indeed Jawabra. The biggest concern, obviously, aside from his health, would be who to put in goal. They have the player up on his feet now, so that's good to see that he can at least stand, but he was holding his head. So I'm not going to speculate too much on what it could be, but obviously if you're holding your head, you either hit that on the ground on your way down, or part of the collision involved the head, and those are always dangerous. Those are things that they've been instructed to keep more of an eye out, whether it's at high school age or U.S. youth soccer, even at the higher levels, professionals, USL, MLS, what have you. Head injuries are something that they definitely have to keep in mind. And now they're actually going to have a conference with the fourth official. So if I'm understanding the fourth official correctly, I believe they're going to say that the foul against the keeper occurred first. So it's always hard to word that. Basically, it's not going to be a penalty kick, if I'm understanding it right. So the foul will be coming out. The free kick will be coming out. Right now, they're still administering some tests to kind of get the bearings of Jawabra, try to figure out whether or not he can stay in this game. So, as of right now, the Thunder obviously hoping that their goalkeeper will be able to continue, because they're not warming anybody up right now. And as everything has shaken out, it looks like Jawabra will indeed be allowed to continue. Obviously, the health and safety of the player is paramount. And now the situation keeps compounding a little bit. I believe a yellow card has been handed out. I did not see to whom, though. So this game has fallen into a little bit of chaos. But all things considered, we're still squared up. 0-0 is your score. We're about 30 minutes in technically, but we probably had a good 5 to 10 minutes where we were checking on the health of the goalkeeper. So you would have to figure that there's going to be a lot of extra time added on as David Segovia comes in now for Aztecas. So they put it back into play as trying to smooth things over here and get the game really kind of in a flow. Both teams had created some decent chances, and after the injury, just as I was about to say, perhaps we'll settle into it and get a bit more clean play. Both teams seem a little bit more interested with their opponents than they do the ball at this stage of the game. So that's something that's probably not going to be able to continue for much longer for this game to really have any good back and forth to it. And also to keep both sides at 11 on. Right now, Aztecas in control of it as they probe up the far sideline, trying to get that one over. It was too far for Pita. Getting around is Elizage. Counter could be on here. They're going to elect to possess the ball a little more, try to set it up with some purpose. Santos intended that one for Segovia. Now Parga. Parga towards the end line, trying to get himself a corner, and he'll get it. So we'll have a corner kick, technically late in the half, but I would say we've probably got a good 10 minutes or so that are going to be added into this one. Here comes the corner kick, good lofted kick in towards the 6-yard area. It's loose, they get a header onto it. Here comes Azteca again. Trying to put it back in. And Coach Levterov is skirting the line right now. They've got extra officials here that are kind of keeping an eye on the coaches right now. And there hasn't been anything in between the benches, which is always good to see. Sometimes that is the case where the coaches tend to yap at each other too much, but right now the official has been bearing the brunt of all of this as we are into stoppage time now, and you have to figure there's a good chunk going to be added onto this half. So there's going to be at least 7 minutes added on. That was the word from the head official. Slicing up the right wing, Lopez gets himself a throw. Now we have a player down again for Bloomfield. And apparently Levtarov will have to come out onto the field again. It's difficult from my vantage point to see who it was. But more stoppage time potentially being added on. It appears to be Lopez, but we'll see here in just a moment as he approaches our broadcast position. 0-0 your score. Really no clue how much time is going to be added here. When we hit stoppage time, they had said 7. Now we get another injury, which could add more onto that. It's been a very intriguing first half despite the lack of goals. So checking in will be Enrique Castro, and it was indeed Lopez who took the injury. Also coming into the game for Aztecas is Noah Valdez and Hugo Guzman. So they've got everything set. The number of officials seems to be picking up here, and we're not talking about referees, but that's of no matter right now to the actual contest. Trying to counterattack quickly, picking up speed is Rodriguez, and dispossessed at the last second was Flores. Here's Elizage, and the flag is up. Headed high up into the air. Trying to get onto it is Tenicella. Rizzuto keeps it in. But it's with Segovia. He has it knocked away. Into touch. Blasted high up into the air. This game getting a little bit out of hand. The players on the field doing their best to decide it. But it's a sticky situation. As someone who's an official at the high school level, I know that emotions can run high and it can affect things, but right now there just seems to be too much going on that isn't necessarily involved on the field. It's going to be a free kick given to Bloomfield as the Thunder will try to pop one up into the air and see if they can nod one in. So the wall's set, and Elazar is going to put a foot into it. He's going to try to take a shot, and he actually got a lot of steam behind that one, but the ball would never come back down. We are well into stoppage time. Approaching halftime, you would have to think, but given everything that's gone on, injuries and what have you, this half is dragged on quite a bit. They go short with the goal kick, trying to escape their own half. Segovia. Popping one over the top. Little tug on the jersey. Into the box. And we're going to have a yellow card handed out. Yellow card against Jean-Paul Maururi. And it's going to be a dangerous free kick coming up for Aztecas. So at least 3 yellow cards handed out in this contest so far. 2 for Bloomfield, 1 for Aztecas. I didn't get the number of the one on white. Low shot right into the wall. Rebound chance. And that one's easily handled by Jawabra. And there is the halftime whistle. 35 minutes and plenty more in the books in this one. Nothing yet decided. We are going to have the second half of action coming up for you in just a little bit. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more on-field action coming up for you. Second half in just a little bit.
National League for us as a club has been the ultimate league. It's the single most important thing that we have within our program. And so it opens your eyes in terms of what's out there, not just within your region, but outside of that. And it's through competition. And there's nothing given here in terms of, oh, you're wonderful, you're great, and you've done great in the past. Here, come on in and play National League. No, every single year they understand that, like most things in life that are worthwhile, you have to earn them. And I think there's something really meaningful when you have to step on the field and know that you got there not because you were given something, but you earned that thing with everything that you had, and that's what makes it super special.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer at a really young age, probably my second year playing. I had a rough start. My first year, I never touched the ball once. I played 11v11 co-ed, and I sort of just picked daisies and smiled at the camera for my mom and did cartwheels. But then my second year, my mom had asked after the season, do you want to continue playing? Do you want to try other sports? Like, you could do gymnastics. And I was like, well, maybe we should try something else. My mom's like, okay, well, just one more year and see how you like it. And then if not, we'll go to do something else. And the second year, my mom said that, like, off the kickoff, I just took the ball, dribbled it straight to the goal, and shot it in. And ever since then, I've been in love with scoring goals, and it's been, gosh, 2 years later, something like that. My parents have been hugely influential in my career. Neither of them played soccer themselves, but as soon as my sisters and I took to it, they were our coaches, our managers, our cheerleaders, our biggest critics. I remember growing up, my parents would tell me, you can go out with your friends as long as you can juggle 100 times first, or, talent is a gift and, it's a sin to waste it. Go outside and practice and make yourself great. My mom shagged balls. She drove me an hour and a half to practice even after I got my license in high school so I could do my homework in the car. And they've traveled around the world now watching me play and getting to enjoy it on the back end. I remember everything about my youth club career. I think that there's nothing like being a young girl playing soccer. I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and, making these lifelong bonds. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was just talking about this. I can tell you whose dad that is, I both stay in touch with both of them. I actually don't know who's carrying me though. Oh, I look really young for an 18-year-old, just throw that out there. But yeah, I think that this kind of embodies exactly what I said. Just the camaraderie of our parents in the background supporting us, following us all the way, celebrating with your teammates. In terms of advice for young players, I always say it's a little difficult to keep perspective at that age, and it feels like at times your whole life is riding on winning and losing games. But I think that, what I remember now isn't, the wins, and it wasn't the success or the accolades. It was the feeling. It was how much fun I had with my friends and how much fun I had working towards my goals and learning those important lessons. So I think for young players, just keep that in mind, that when you're happy, you're at your best. You're playing at your best. So stress and pressure, let it fall away and let yourself be who you are, and that's the best you can do for yourself and for your team.
USU Soccer is the largest youth sports organization in the country and provides playing opportunities for first-time players as well as future superstars. Everybody starts somewhere, and for the over 3 million players every year, USU Soccer is the place to grow and to develop.
Well, it's a lot of fun to watch them play. It's a lot of fun to watch them build their confidence up and to learn the technical piece of the game, but also a lot about teamwork and what it takes to be a good teammate.
The only thing that I can do for them is really have them understand that through discipline, hard work, framed as soccer, but more importantly applied in school, is the vehicle ultimately for the success of themselves and their families.
I like playing competitive soccer because it gives me something to be really proud of, and that I know that I'm putting my effort into something and that I'm really getting results out of it. I love my team and I love playing, so the whole thing, it can be hard, but it's 100% worth it, and it just gives you something, a purpose in life that you can really put your heart and soul into.
I first fell in love with the game of soccer when I was about 6 years old. My parents signed me up for a youth league, and I love running around and scoring goals and doing all the fun things, sliding and kicking the ball. So that was the beginning of it, and I try and cast my mind back to those days when things get tough.
I've got quite a few memorable youth soccer moments. It was a learning experience. I was one of the better players on my club team, but then being selected for the New Jersey ODP, I suddenly found myself kind of at the bottom. And when I made the regional team, suddenly found myself at the bottom again. So I think it was definitely a learning experience, and I had to work hard, and it didn't come naturally for me. I had to kind of work at it. But I would say, playing with my club team, the Medford Strikers in New Jersey, winning 2 state championships with that team, they were like my family, and I still keep in touch with some of those girls, and those were some of my most memorable moments, kind of being with that group for 4 or 5 years.
You can't ever have success without remembering how you got there. I believe that it's the only right thing to do, to always go back to where you started. Always go back to the people who helped you, thank them, and then go back to where you started in the same environment and try to help other people achieve the level of success that you have.
1, 2, 3, Coyotes!
And welcome back to the Mohawk Soccer Complex here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, site of the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National President's Cup. 0-0 here in the U14 Boys Championships as we're just about set to get underway. We had an interesting first half, a couple injuries, and seems like everybody is kind of shaking that off. The goalkeeper stays the same for Bloomfield. That's Sammy Jawabra, and everybody else seems to be no worse for wear. And we definitely had some interesting moments with the coaching staff, and as some tournament officials had to come over and talk to Mr. Levtarov, and we'll see if they've got that situation under control. You can almost understand where he was coming from. It just, from a neutral point of view, I think the officials thought that he was just taking it a level too far. It wasn't necessarily the argument he was making, but the way he was making it, kind of thing. And we'll see how that carries over into the second half. And hopefully we can focus everything on the field action. Segovia puts a right foot into it, looking to send it over towards the far corner. Instead, the defender was shielding him off. That was Anthony Arizzi. Now Segovia dispossessed. Throwing coming for Aztecas. They're going right to left now, clad in the white with the blue trunks. Trying to spring a counterattack to Lopez, and Elizage was also up there, but Lopez was called for offside, I believe, or Elizage was. Anyway, the point I was going to make is Lopez returning to the field for this half after coming off with an injury in the first, so good to see him back on the field. And now we've got another collision, and Joabra is injured again. This one seemed to be more around the hip or midsection, but it hasn't been a great day so far for Mr. Joabra. He has picked up quite a few knocks. We're going to wait and see if somebody's coming off the field or not. But from my vantage point, it looked like the red card went up. And indeed it has. So second yellow given out. And both of them to Cesar Flores. So Superior SC will now be down a man. So, well, we'd hoped to be focusing a little bit more on the action involving the ball, and instead we've got another injury involving the goalkeeper. Second time during this game. Both have involved yellow cards, and apparently both had been handed out to Cesar Flores, because there was only one yellow card given out, and that was the one that I had not seen who they handed it to in the first half. So the Aztecas are now down by a man, so that the team that was somewhat heavily favored to win this one after having already defeated Bloomfield 4-0 just yesterday is now behind the 8 ball a little bit. So Coach Saldana barking out orders to his troops out on the field, trying to get things squared away, figuring out where everybody's going to kind of settle in on the field. Down a man, they kind of have to take up slightly different positions. You don't want to alter your formation too much, but obviously you still want to be able to attack and not just have everybody behind the ball. It was Flores was playing further up the field in a very attacking role, so you don't necessarily want to just leave that spot blank, but you don't necessarily want to take away any defensive posture either. So the questioning of the official continues in this contest, and from a neutral's point of view, I can't say it's gone one way or the other. It's just been a typical game. You have calls that need to be made, calls that are missed, and both sides are going to see it very differently depending on who you support. There's a whistle, and we get things back underway. Trying to send one up, too tall for Segovia. So momentum seems to be a little bit on the side right now of Bloomfield, although they don't have possession and aren't on the attack. But still, when you're up by a man, that gives you at least partial advantage. They try to spring a counterattack, but it won't reach Lopez. Goes back the other direction. Flag stays down, getting in onto the attack and gaining a corner will be Segovia. Here comes a left footer high up into the air. It's going to catch some of the wind, and going down very hard was Brian Treviso. He's up, but he's a little worse for wear after that one. He wasn't intending to hit the field, and all of a sudden his feet went out from underneath him, got caught up on a clump of field over there in the box. Over here towards the near sideline, picked up by Maruri. Filtered on through. Colasurdo. Lopez looking for Elizage. Touched up. Is he going to keep it in? He will not, and it's a goal kick. I think he was thinking that it was a corner, because he probably could have reached it. Trying to spring the attack, looking for a call, though, was Parga. None to be had. Good one-touch passing through the midfield. They get it over to Rizzuto over on the far sideline. Puts it onto the right foot. Dispossessed. Elizage trying to muscle off the defenders. Now some jersey tugging going on in the midfield. And the foul goes against Estecas. Looking near sideline. Not far enough. And now we're going to get another card. Into the book. John Fabiano. Into the box. Could be dangerous. Defense steps up for Bloomfield. 46th minute was the yellow card against Fabiano. Nicholas Rizzi. Well, looked like he was going to check in, now perhaps not. It's been a very disjointed game with all the extracurricular things going on. Put up towards the edge of the 18, headed over towards the near sideline. Now on for Parga. Parga plays it off the defender, and corner kick. So it'll be a right-footed in-swinger, trying to put it towards that edge of the 18, or edge of the 6, I should say. Going back post this time. They get a head onto it, but not quite on target. Great opportunity there for the short-handed Aztecas to take the lead off the set piece. They couldn't quite get it down and on target enough. So now Rizzi will check in for Elizage, who was none too pleased to be exiting the game. They go short with the goal kick, trying to build things from the back. So that was a quick break. Elizage will come back in. That attack was thwarted by Hernandez. Segovia lost control of it in the midfield. Now a tussle for it here on the near sideline. Feet caught up with each other. Coach Saldana now joining the ranks of the displeased. So that'll give a free kick to Bloomfield in a potentially dangerous area. The wind pretty much going against them. It's going right to left for the most part, somewhat coming from the far corner flag, but mostly directly goal to goal. Left foot into it, towards the edge of the area, missing the flick just a bit, and the keeper for Aztec is able to get a grasp onto it. High punt, trying to spring the attack. Varela gets around Rizzuto. The two number 11s right on each other. Blasted back up the other direction. Like a pendulum right now, just going back and forth. Played over, not quite out. They will let it run out, and it'll be a throw in for Aztecas. Quickly back in. Into the area. A cheeky back heel there, but unsuspecting was Parga. Flicked on into the area. towards the 18 and ultimately sent away. Near side now. Maruri feels the pressure from behind. So like for like again. Elizage in, and it looks like Rizzi back out. In off the throw. Lopez had got a good bit of air under that, but couldn't quite get a good touch on it. Looking far side now for Rizzuto. Rizzuto and Varela have just been on each other all game long, trying to go the other direction. Counterattack on here. Trying to send one, switching the point of the attack. Pita. And the player goes down. That was Maruri. Long ball after long ball right now as both teams trying to probe that defense, seeing if they can find something here, trying to chip the goalkeeper, nothing doing. As Gautreau really kind of saw it all the way. A little outside of the heel flick. Take it away, going the other direction. Lopez trying to get around a couple defenders, and a good slide tackle takes it away. Otherwise, Colasurdo would have been in. Around one defender, colliding with a second. Putting it up for Parga. Parga gets it around. It went out, and it's going to be a goal kick. Near side again for Maruri. He's got options. Sends it up the sideline. The defender saw that one. Still in. Maruri. Filtered through. And the free kick going the other way. Settled down by Segovia. Intercepted by Lopez. Lopez almost got it from Elizage. Elizage. Lopez. Lopez again. And it's sliced wide, well wide of the goal in the end. High bounce. Settle down. Trying to take it over to the far side is Treviso. Free kick given. Bloomfield will have it. Sub about to check in for Superior as Andres Santos will come into the game. Unable to clear it with any distance. Trying to keep it in. Bloomfield, now it's with Elazar. He's got Padilla with him. He's going to take it himself. Man down for Azteca. They will just lob it up the field. Electing not to play it out. Player still down. Now he gets up. I believe it may have been Parga. In the touch though, and we'll have an opportunity for the sub. And it was actually Noah Valdez who was down on the field for quite some time. Remember, we're playing 11 on 10. Bloomfield with the man advantage. A red card given back in the 38th minute. It was the second yellow card of the game to Cesar Flores. Elazar sends it over to the near side for Maruri. Now the shot comes in. Deflected, they score! Colasurdo with the shot, and it goes in off the own goal. So it's 1-0 in favor of the Bloomfield Thunder. So 1-0 is their score with Bloomfield ahead, seemingly stealing a goal out of nowhere. They were building up the attack very well, but it didn't seem like it was going to end in the back of the net, or if it was going to have to come from the cross. It seemed as though Colasurdo was taking a shot, but it was kind of slicing away from goal, but the defender elected to try to slide and stop it. And that ended up taking it past the goalkeeper, who actually had absolutely no chance. Calmly taken there by Joabra. So the goal comes in the 60th minute, so roughly 10 minutes to go, give or take. You would assume there's going to be a little bit of stoppage time added onto this one. We've had a couple more injuries, and then the cards that have been given out, and then the goal, usually that you get about a minute added on for those as well, depending on the official, of course. Up in the air, could be dangerous, and there we go. It's a tie game. They score. Again, seemingly out of nowhere. Misplayed by the goalkeeper. Jawabra thought he could come out and make the grab. It ended up going over his head. Now we've got an injury over in the net. So 1-1 is your score. So now they've got to check on the nets and everything. Jawabra seems a little bit shaken up again. I do not believe that he was the one in the net, but he has had a pretty rough day, gotten clattered into a couple times. So 1-1 is your score. The goal for Bloomfield came in the 60th minute. Less than 3 minutes later, we get a tying goal from Superior Aztecas. We're also playing 11 on 10. Bloomfield with the advantage there. The red card back in the 38th minute coming to Cesar Flores after he picked up his second yellow for running into the aforementioned Jawabra for the second straight time. Subbing into the game now for Bloomfield, it'll be Noah Kelly. Coming out of the game, much to his chagrin, is Marco Colasurdo. So Bloomfield right now kind of needing to push the reset button. They had kind of thought they had things on their side, and then a goal scored basically from their own half for Aztecas, coming just outside the center circle and bouncing over the goalkeeper's head has tied things up. There it is, Kelly. Couldn't quite get it on for Padilla. Kelly dispossessed now. Counterattack could be on. Getting around the defender initially, but coming back and getting a piece of it was Fabiano. Too strong for Lopez. Here's Padilla. Had it taken away from him. Almost regained it. Now trying to spring out. Santos through the slide tackle, and the foul will be given. Free kick going to be taken by Quevedo. Puts one towards the edge of the 18. It goes far post, but it goes over everyone as well. Checking back into the game now is Colasurdo. He will come in and Padilla goes out. Both teams trying to keep their legs fresh and get some extra instruction in as well. Looking over for Parga. Puts a left foot into it, he scores! The flag is down and it's 2-1 Aztecas. So again, almost coming out of nowhere. It seemed like a fairly innocuous play, just coming over towards the left side of the box. A 2-1. Here's your score. Aztecas down by a man, but up by a goal. With a late goal being scored by Jarrett Parga. Looking for an equalizer now. Colasurdo had it taken away. Colasurdo trying to fake off the defender. Gets it into the box, sends it across the face of goal, but nobody there. Needing a new ball in play. The official seemed to indicate that there was about 5 minutes remaining. Fabiano comes out, takes it, just pops one up in the air, gets the return pass, miscommunication, and that allows. So we're in stoppage time. So that means that there's roughly about 5 minutes left in this one, with Aztecas holding a slim 2-1 lead, and they are down a man as well. Another throw-in coming for Aztecas. Bloomfield needing to get possession. They've got a long field in front of them to try to get an equalizer here. Kelly was trying to track it down. He was able to play it off the attacker, and that will lead to a throw-in for Bloomfield. Trying to bring it up through the center. Anthony Rizzi. He wanted to come over near the sideline to Lopez. Here's Maruri. Closing in on the end of this one, Aztecas trying to hold on for a championship here. They've been down a man since the 38th minute, but they've managed to score a couple goals. One came in the 63rd minute, and then one not too far from the end of regulation. Try to slip one through. Just barely keeping it in is Tenisella. Looking for some space. Gets it towards the box. Here's Lopez. Right foot into the defender. Still with Bloomfield. Trying to keep things calm. Time becoming ever short. Into the box. Elazage. Had to take it away. Bodies flying everywhere. No foul to be called. And now afterwards there was a foul called indeed. It'll come out. So that favors Aztecas. Closing in on the championship for the President's Cup. They just lob one aimlessly upfield, but they will track it down. Here's the goal scorer. Trying for a little more glory was Parga, but he got too much underneath that one and too far on the outside of the foot. Hats are coming out. The T-shirts are coming out. Championship's about to be awarded. Can Bloomfield do anything to avoid the almost foregone conclusion that it might be Aztecas? Here's Kelly from the midfield stripe. Lobbing one over for Colasordo. He takes a bit of a bump, gets back up, gets possession. Trying to get around the defender, looking for a little bit of space. Was able to create a little bit. He went down in emphatic fashion, but the official wasn't having any of it. And there it is. There is the final whistle. Your 2016 National President's Cup champions are Superior SC Aztecas out of Fort Worth, Texas. They went down by a man in the 38th minute, but they were not to be denied in this one. They scored a goal in the 63rd minute to tie things up after falling behind in the 60th minute, and then they scored just short of regulation to win the championship. That'll wrap it up for our coverage here from Mohawk Sports Complex. For our great camera crew, for everybody here at Turbo Sports, for Scott, our great producer, I'm Todd Panula. Have a great one.